Hi everyone and welcome to my TED Talk. So today I'm here to talk about something that everyone loves and that is food. And before I begin, I would like to start by saying that I'm a quintessential Mumbai girl. I love everything with pav. You name it and I love it. So vada pav, keema pav, misal pav, I love everything. And I'm sure you all have heard about this one dish called as Pav Bhaji. Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry, that was a very stupid question because everyone over here knows Pav Bhaji. What am I even saying? Pav Bhaji is just something that we all love. But imagine Indian street food without Pav Bhaji. Because what if I tell you that Pav Bhaji is not really Indian? Confused? Well, let's take a look at the ingredients in the Pav Bhaji. The bhaji is made with potatoes, carrots, tomatoes, capsicum, chilies, and let me tell you, none of these vegetables are actually Indian. Capsicum and chili originated in Mexico. They came to India with the Portuguese. Your carrots and cauliflower originates in Europe. And it came to India with the British. Even the pav that we serve with it, it's not Indian, of course. It is introduced by the Portuguese. The Portuguese poi is something that inspires the pav. Now, what exactly is Indian in pav bhaji are the masalas that we add in the bhaji and the lemon that we squeeze on top. So you see how we have taken ingredients from here and there and we have Indianized everything. And it's funny how our ancestors won't really recognize pav bhaji as their own food, the way we recognize pav bhaji as our food. So the food that we eat today is so different than what our ancestors ate thousands of years ago. So here I am to take you on a food journey to understand how food has evolved through years. Now allow me to introduce myself. I am Prachi Agarkar, a foodie turned chef and culinary creator. I am a Marathi mulgi who loves her Maharashtrian zanzanit food. Now let's understand how and why food has changed over the years. The colonizers and invaders who came to the land, they naturally influenced our culinary habits. They introduced their food, which we accepted, adapted, and we Indianized the food. The Mughals came in with the kormas, kebabs, gulab jamun. I mean, if it wasn't for the Mughals, you and I would not really know what a gulab jamun is. And do you believe me when I say that idli does not originate in India? Idli has its origin in Indonesia and it traveled its way to India. So in the last 2000 years, we have borrowed ingredients, dishes, cooking techniques from here and there, and we have Indianized everything. And what do you mean by Indianizing? It is by adding lots of spices and tadka, which is uniquely and proudly ours. Now that we know what vegetables are not Indian, your potatoes, cauliflower, tomatoes, so what were the vegetables that were actually consumed by Indians before colonization? So it is all sorts of gourds, pumpkin, bottle gourd, bitter gourd, colocasia, yam. Now if you ask me to define Indian food, defining Indian food is a bit tricky. I like to look at India like Europe. Every 150 kilometers, the food, language, the culture changes. Like in Europe, every 150 kilometers, the food, language, and culture will change from French, German, Spanish, Italian. And similarly in India, it would change from Kashmiri, Punjabi, Pahadi, Himachali. So calling their food as European food would be quite insulting. Similarly, calling our food under an umbrella of Indian food does not really do justice to our beautiful regional food that we have in our country. Because you see, the food in the extreme north in Kashmir is so different than the food in the extreme south in Kerala. Now, what remains common throughout is the tadka, which is Indian, which also changes from region to region. North Indians love ghee, mustard oil in their tadka. South Indians love coconut oil in their tadka. And we in the West, we love groundnut oil in the tadka. The simple reason being that groundnut is grown in abundance in Maharashtra and Gujarat. And that's why we've been using groundnut oil since ages. You see how our traditional food habits reflect the geographical significance and the climatic conditions. This is something that is deeply intertwined in our cultural and traditional practices. So before globalization, food was hyper-local. It was fresh. It was eaten where it was produced. People would literally pluck vegetables from their backyard, come inside the kitchen and cook it. It was that fresh. And also, food was also very seasonal, like consumption of saag in winters in Punjab. I'm sure you've heard about makke ki roti sarson da saag, okay? That's a winter special delicacy from Punjab. Similarly, consumption of hurda in Maharashtra, which is tender sorghum, that's jowar. Both of these dishes, saag and hurda, are something that is harvested during the winters. It is also something that provides the body with the right nourishment which is needed during winters. It's a great source of fiber, protein, and everything that is needed for the body. It keeps your body warm and gives you the right nourishment. You see how our traditional food is so season specific. And the south of the country is hot and humid, and that is why you will find an array of fermented dishes in the south. As compared to the north, you will not find too many fermented dishes in the north because the north is colder. And talking about spice levels, the more you go down south in the country, the food gets spicier. If you ask me why, it is because of the hot climatic condition. The body is able to tolerate that level of spice because of hot climatic conditions. You bring any North Indian to Kolhapur or Nagpur, and I'm sure they won't be able to handle the rassas that we have in Kolhapur and Nagpur. It'll be too much for them. So like I said, India is like Europe. Every 150 kilometers, the food, culture, and language changes. And Maharashtra, being a considerably large state, even in Maharashtra, every 150 kilometers, the food and the language is changing. So if you see, Maharashtrian cuisine has major two divisions. It is the coastal and inland cuisine. Further, there are many further divisions. There's Konkani, Saraswat, Puneri, Kolhapuri, Khandeshi, Sauji, Varadi. Many types of cuisine are available in Maharashtra. And these cuisines are predominantly influenced by the agricultural produce in that region, as well as the climatic conditions in that region. I sometimes really feel disheartened because Maharashtrian food does not really get that limelight that it deserves, because it's actually really, really good. It is so diverse, it is so unique, but it does not get the limelight that it needs. Because if you go abroad and if you search for Indian food, you'll only find things like butter chicken, palak paneer, biryani. You'll never really find Maharashtrian food. You'll probably won't find puran puri. You'll just find vada pav, pav bhaji, which is just a recent addition, which is not even traditional Maharashtrian food, to be very honest. The food that is known for its high spice levels. We are infamous for having extremely spicy food. And one very unique thing about Maharashtra's food that I would like to point out is the play of textures in food. It is the only cuisine in India that focuses on texture in food. For example, having soft and crunchy together in the same dish, soggy and crispy together in the same dish. For example, the rava fried fish is something that is unique to Maharashtra. The fish is soft on the inside, the crispy exterior of the rava gives it a crispy feeling, thus having two different textures in the same dish, giving it a good mouthfeel and making it very interesting and unique. The history of Maharashtrian food is a very fascinating journey that takes us through various influences of various cultures and tradition. The cuisine that is influenced by the Mughals, Marathas, Portuguese, and British. And since it's a relatively large state, let's have a look at how the cuisine is different from region to region. Let's start with Konkan. Konkan is the coastal belt of Maharashtra, and as it is true for every coastal region, the staple in this region is seafood and rice. Konkan is known for their sweet and sour gravies that are cooked with seafood. And Konkani food has a special place in my heart. In spite of having my roots from Pune, I grew up eating Konkani food because my aji, that's my nani, is Konkani. So that's why I love Konkani food. From Konkan, when we move inwards, we reach Paschim Maharashtra. That is Pune, Kolhapur, Satara, Solapur, and Sangli. The food in inland of Maharashtra is a lot spicier. It is more complex. The masalas are more layered, and it has more depth. There is also an extensive use of dry coconut in inland Maharashtra food. The simple reason being that the coconut travels from coastal Maharashtra towards inland Maharashtra, and by the time it reaches, it dries. As simple as that. In the north, we have Khandesh, with the districts of Nashik, Dhule, Jalgaon, and Khandesh is that dry and arid part of Maharashtra which is prone to drought. So crops like bajra and all sorts of millets are the major crop in this region. And because it is so hot, the Khandeshi cuisine is known to be the spiciest of all Maharashtrian cuisine. When we move further inward, we reach Marathwada, which is again very dry and arid. So there's a tradition of sun-drying vegetables. Even when we move further inwards, there's Sauji cuisine from Nagpur, which is also extremely spicy thanks to the hot climatic conditions in Nagpur. Now, when I'm talking about Maharashtrian food, any discussion on Maharashtrian food is incomplete without mentioning Kolhapur. I personally believe that Kolhapuri food is the best regional food Maharashtra has to offer. It is something that reflects the eating habits of the royals. If you see, Kolhapuri food is rich in non-veg, especially mutton. The gravies or the preparation, it reflects the cooking habits that were in the royal Maratha kitchen, because Kolhapur was a princely state that was ruled by the Bhosle dynasty for years. And I'm sure you've heard about the Kolhapuri Tamda Rassa and Pandra Rassa. And if you haven't ever tried it, let me tell you, you're really, really missing out on something in life. Maharashtrian food is, like I said, it deeply reflects our culture and our history. And when I say words like Patvadya, Kurtiche Shengurya, Gharge, Khapar Mandya, these words might sound alien to you. But this is what traditional and real Maharashtrian food is. This is what our ancestors ate many years ago, and not Pav Bhaji and Vada Pav. This is what real Maharashtrian food is. It is extremely essential that we preserve these lost recipes. It is as important as preserving our monuments, because food is something that reflects our culture and history. So it is extremely important that we preserve it. So now that we have seen how food is very region specific, let's understand the beautiful connection between food, festival, and seasons. I'm sure everyone knows about the harvest festival in India, that is Makar Sankranti. It has different names, Lori, Bihu, Pongal, okay, different names, but same festival that is celebrated throughout India. And there's a common practice to consume sweets made with sesame and jaggery during this festival. Because as per Ayurveda, sesame and jaggery both have warm potency. It provides the body with warmth, it provides the body with the right nourishment that is required during winters. So you see, in Maharashtra we eat sweets like Tirgur Ladu, Tirachi Puri, and in Punjab you will find sweets like Revdi, which is again made with sesame. So see how our festivals and the food associated with the festival has scientific significance. And if you really want to see the food that is Indian, authentically Indian, have a look at the food that is offered to deities. Have a look at the food which is cooked in extremely old temples in India. You won't find any cauliflower, carrots, and capsicum in that food. You'll find ingredients that are indigenous to this land. For example, let's have a look at Maharashtra's Puranpuri and Modak. Puranpuri is a wheat flatbread that has a stuffing of chana dal, jaggery, and some spices. Modak is a rice flour dumpling that has a stuffing of fresh coconut, jaggery, and some spices. You see, all the ingredients are indigenous ingredients from this land. There's nothing that the colonizers or invaders brought. The food offered to the deities is real and authentically Indian food. So, our traditional recipes were something that were unadulterated. They catered to individual needs and they gave the body the right nutrients that were needed to the body. They were formulated in such a way that it was a balanced diet, as well as it gave the right nutrition according to season, region, age, gender, to cure a certain illness or to recover postpartum. There are certain specific dishes. At the same time, being rich in taste. This really portrays the wisdom and expertise of our ancestors and the knowledge of our Vedic books, which were way ahead of its time. Traditional food is something that links the past and links us to the past and culture. It serves as a reminder that our culinary heritage is something that was scientifically backed, particularly for the younger generation. With all the changing food habits, there is a loss of understanding understanding about the awareness of the nutritional value of our traditional food. The younger generation that prefers oats and quinoa over jowar and ragi. It is extremely essential that we preserve these traditional recipes. We have some standard recipes and we embrace our roots. Because in my opinion, Indian food habits are the best in the world. We must embrace them. We must celebrate them. You see how our food has scientific backing. Buttermilk after lunch, pan or mukhwas after dinner, all have scientific importance, and we must celebrate it, we must embrace it, and we must not really fall for Western food habits or Western fads. So I'll say, eat local, eat seasonal, eat like your ancestors. Your palate may not love it, but your body definitely loves it. Thank you.